Come on then, give me Ennis. No problem.
Conor Benn made waves today by publicly calling out the undefeated IBF welterweight champion, Jaron Boots Ennis, declaring his readiness to take on the rising American star. Benn has expressed interest in fighting not only Ennis but also other champions in the 147-pound division, including Mario Barrios and Imantas Stanionis. Benn's challenge seemed intense, almost reckless, as he spoke about taking on Ennis, raising doubts about whether he fully grasps the danger posed by the highly regarded American. If Benn is genuinely aiming for a fight with Boots, it could signal that he's becoming aware of the mounting skepticism surrounding his career. Many see Benn as an overhyped product, groomed for stardom through carefully selected, low-risk opponents designed to pad his record and increase his marketability in the UK. Benn's resume includes few notable names, with his most significant victory coming against a past his prime 37-year-old Chris Eubank back in 2021. At this stage, Benn wouldn't even qualify as a warm-up fight for Ennis, given his recent underwhelming performances against lesser-known fighters like Peter Dobson and Rodolfo Orozco. The idea of Benn seriously pursuing a fight with Ennis or any top-tier champion seems far-fetched, especially with his team reportedly angling for a showdown with middleweight Chris Eubank Jr. That fight was originally slated for 2022 but fell apart after Benn failed a drug test for PEDs, stalling his career and derailing what was a highly anticipated bout.
Give me Barrios. Give me Stanionis. I don't shy away from nobody. I'm willing to go up to 160 to fight someone they say I can't be. So then come back down to 147. I'm a fighting man. This is what we do. This is our life. You never shy away from a fight. You go out on your shield. It's just who you are. It's your DNA. It's your makeup. You don't get far in this game if you're scared to fight anybody.
Even if Benn is genuinely interested in fighting Ennis, his promoter Eddie Hearn is unlikely to entertain that option. Hearn appears focused on setting up a fight between Benn and Eubank Jr., a matchup that has significant appeal in the UK and is expected to take place in Riyadh. The bout will be broadcast on DAZN PPV, and all eyes will be on the numbers it pulls in. It's anticipated to do well in Britain, where both Benn and Eubank Jr. have built celebrity-like profiles, though they're not regarded as elite fighters on the global stage. In the US, neither fighter generates much buzz, with most American fans viewing them as second-tier attractions. Eubank Jr., in particular, failed to impress in his latest outing on October 12th, where he stopped journeyman Kamil Saramita in the 7th round on the undercard of Artur Beterbiev vs. Dimitri Bivol at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh.
His technique, his power, it stays with him the entire fight.
Rocked to the core by those punches.
His reflexes, his counters.
The speed and power of those punches from Inoue. And there's a right hand gone in too from Inoue.
With a guy like Inoue, it's going to be hard to compete.
Undisputed super bantamweight champion Naoya Inoue will put his 4 belts on the line against the undefeated IBF and WBO mandatory challengers Sam Goodman in a highly anticipated matchup on December 24th at the Ariake Arena in Tokyo, taking place on Christmas Eve. This headline bout will be broadcast in the US via ESPN+, with the exact timing to be announced closer to the event. Inoue continues to dominate the relatively weak 122 pounds division, where he remains the undisputed king. His presence in the super bantamweight class has stretched longer than many fans outside Japan expected, as they eagerly await his move up to featherweight, where tougher competition lies. However, the monster appears in no rush to leave a division where he faces little resistance, a strategic move that some would say is financially motivated. After all, super bantamweight has been a haven for Inoue, where there are virtually no credible threats to his reign. Many boxing fans, particularly in the US, are clamoring for a blockbuster showdown between Inoue and WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, despite both fighters being similar in height. Inoue has shown little interest in stepping up to face Tank. His record spans 4 divisions, but critics often point to the lack of top-tier names on his resume. His most notable victory came against Nonito Donaire, who at 36 years old was past his prime. This lack of marquee opponents is why many fans are pushing for Inoue to climb into the deeper and more dangerous featherweight division, where a slew of challengers, at least 11 credible threats, await him. Some of these fighters could pose a genuine nightmare for the Japanese star. Sam Goodman, by contrast, represents a less daunting opponent for Inoue. The Australian fighter has drawn comparisons to Paul Butler in terms of style, more of a finesse boxer than a power puncher, relying on outpointing opponents rather than knocking them out. Fighters of this mold have historically struggled against Inoue, who is able to land power shots without much concern for counterattacks or damage, as was the case in his first fight against Donaire. Goodman's notable victories include wins over the likes of TJ Doheny, Shane Warwood, Mark Schleibs, Miguel Flores, and Ariz Aling. While these victories earned him a title shot, it's widely believed that if the super bantamweight division had more depth, Goodman would have been weeded out before reaching this point. His path to the title has only made things easier for Inoue, who can continue to dominate without facing a genuine threat, a luxury he may not enjoy if he ever moves up to featherweight. On the undercard, WBO bantamweight champion Yashiki Takei is set to take on a yet-to-be-named challenger in what will be the co-main event of the evening. Ranked number 3 in the junior middleweight division, Erickson Lubin has expressed his eagerness to face IBF champion Bakhram Murtazaliev. Lubin revealed that he was initially set to clash with Murtazaliev, but negotiations fell through. Now, after his dominant third-round knockout victory over former WBO 154 pounds champion Tim Tszyu in Orlando, Florida last Saturday, Lubin is more determined than ever to challenge for the title. Lubin downplayed the notion of Murtazaliev's victory over Tszyu being an upset, asserting that, despite Tszyu being the betting favorite, Murtazaliev came into the fight as the champion and delivered a performance fitting of that status. Lubin wasn't shocked by the outcome, emphasizing that Tszyu had yet to prove himself by defeating any top-level opponents in his 8-year pro career. The possibility of Lubin being the next challenger for Murtazaliev remains uncertain. Murtazaliev has shown interest in pursuing a unification bout, which could potentially sideline Lubin's ambitions. Additionally, Lubin hasn't stepped into the ring since his controversial 12-round unanimous decision win over Jesus Ramos in September 2023, over a year ago. For Murtazaliev, who is riding a wave of momentum, Lubin may not present the most appealing option at this moment.
It wasn't no upset, he fought the champion. It wasn't no upset.
Yeah, you know he was the favorite though.
I know he was the favorite, but it wasn't no upset.
While Lubin is confident in his skills, the matchup against Murtazaliev could prove to be a daunting challenge. Murtazaliev's devastating power has overwhelmed many opponents, and Lubin has shown vulnerability when facing heavy hitters, as seen in his losses to Jermel Charlo and Sebastian Fundora.
Bro, you fought the champion, and who has Tim Tszyu fought? Let's be real, who has Tim Tszyu beat? Who has Tim Tszyu fought?
Tszyu has notable wins over Brian Mendoza, Carlos Ocampo, and Terrell Gausha, fighters who could pose serious problems for Lubin if he were to face them. In fact, many fans still feel that Lubin's victory over Ramos was a gift, with widespread belief that the decision should have gone the other way.
I'm not going to kick the man while he's down. I hope he recovers. I hope he comes back. He's strong, he's tall, and he looked a little durable. So that's the fight I want next. I wanted that fight before Tim Tszyu got him.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Tim Tszyu jumped the gun a little bit.
Murtazaliev's knockout of Tszyu, where he dropped the Australian 4 times, demonstrates just how dangerous he can be. If those same shots had landed on Lubin, many believe the outcome would have been similar. After all, Lubin was knocked out in the first round by Jermel Charlo back in 2017, and Charlo's KO ratio sits at 54%, far lower than the devastating power that Murtazaliev brings to the ring. Subscribe. Please like and comment. This is very important for the development of the channel. See you later.